was 6 years old, and I was exploring my father's office one evening with my older sister, who was 8. We were tiptoeing around the dimly lit hallways, opening drawers and cabinets, when we saw a big door labeled Files, slightly cracked open. Curiously, we opened this heavy door, and my sister and I went inside. Boom! The door slams behind us, locking us into the tiny file room. We pull the door handle, but it doesn't budge. We are stuck, and my sister stops to sob. I take a shaky breath and think to myself, what can we do to get out? I see the piles of paper on the table, grab a pen and start writing in big letters. Help! We are stuck inside, on as many pieces of paper as possible, and start shoveling them under the door. Eventually, my father must have seen the trail of paper and realized we were stuck inside. This story happened 40 years ago, but was important because it was the first of many doors that I had pushed open with my own curiosity and courage. The world is full of doors. Do we enter? Do we push forward? Do we step out our comfort zone to discover? Today, I will share with you about my experience breaking such doors and my mindset as I push forward into the unknown. In the early 1990s, China started open door policy, which allowed all foreign nations to enjoy equal access to the Chinese market. At the time, I was a fresh college graduate, and I had to make a choice between a job opportunity with a traditional government-owned company, which means I could have an iron bowl for life, means a job for life, or a job opportunity with the very first joint venture between the US and China, which meant I could get myself into unknown territory with huge risk. I decided to open the open door policy door. I joined a male-dominated company with many manufacturing sites. Soon after I joined the company, I became the very first and only IT staff. A few years later, I became the head of IT for Greater China. When I went to meetings and different work sites, I was always the only female in the room for a long time. 5 years later, I was approached to join one of the top 5 global personal computer maker companies in Singapore. I still remember vividly. My father, as a traditional Chinese father, said to me, "You are doing so well with the current company. You should start thinking about getting married and settling down. I don't really think it's a good idea to move to a foreign country that you have never been to." I decided to open the another country door, moving from China to Singapore. I was the very first to start working overseas among my classmates from high school and college. When I decided to pursue a master's degree, I had to choose between Master of Computer Science or MBA. I knew my interests were with business and leadership, and so I picked pursuing the MBA in spite of my friends advising me to stick with the other, more normal choice. When I finished my MBA, I decided to open one of the top 5 Fortune 100 company door. I joined General Electric Company. I became the youngest female IT leader for GE Health Southeast Asia region. 4 years later, I decided to open another continent door, moving from Asia to Europe. I became the head of IT for Europe, Middle East, and Africa for Honeywell. Another 4 years later, keep listening, I decided to open financial services industry door. I moved from Europe to US and became the first female officer who was hired from overseas for a company in its 150 years history. 7 years ago, I decided to open the motherhood door. At age 42, I became an older mother with a beautiful girl. breaking the norm again. 2 years ago, I decided to open the United Nations NGO door, moving from the private sector to the public sector. I became a UN representative and chief administrative officer for a UN NGO. At this point, you might be wondering, is Emma just reading her resume or giving me an interview talk? No, I just want to illustrate that my past 29 years since I graduated from college, I don't know whether you are counting, I broke 7 norms by opening 7 very different doors. Each time I open a new door, it led me to another door, to another one, and another one, to an interesting, fulfilling, and meaningful life. As a woman from Asia, English was not my first language. As a regional and global IT in a discipline that used to be, or maybe still is dominated by males, or an older mother, as a leader moving from private sector to public sector, I always being asked, how did you do it? What's your secret recipe? I wonder about this too. I also want to know. So I started a small survey with 15 of my family members, close friends, and business partners. I wrote, please list the top 3 qualities you think make Emma who she is today. The top 3 answers were 40% perseverance, 35% resilience, and 15% self-confidence. These are really good answers. However, my mind, my heart did not agree. Except my husband said, well, honey, you are a fighter, since sometimes I fight with him. I don't feel right about the answers. I started reflecting. After a day of hard thinking, I realized that what my family members, close friends, and business partners saw are the representation of my behaviors, but not my inner drives, not my motivations. My inner drive and my mind have very different answers from them. As business school students, we learned how to differentiate products, services, and the strategies, and so on. Have you ever thought about yourself as a product? How do you differentiate yourself? How do you define and build your own competitive edge? That is what I wish to share with you today. The need to continually differentiate yourself by taking big steps so that you can fulfill your professional potentials, be winners in life, and be able to enjoy all the benefits that come with great success. Right here, I have good news for you. I'm proof that this is not as difficult as you may think. I applied my inner drive to differentiate myself. Inner drive or simply drive define more like motivation or self-discipline. So my 2 key inner drives are, first, dare to break the norms. My willingness to take big risk, to take on opportunity to differentiate. Believe me, when it comes to breaking the norms, it's never easy for anybody. The hardest norm for me to break, and took me 2 years to break, was when I became a mother, and I was also juggling between in charge of a big transformational project for the company. I tried to do both, but reality showed me that I could not be the best for both roles. I opted for motherhood at the height of a successful career. I did it, and this was the best norm I have broken so far and ever. Second, reinvent self to bridge gaps. Reconfigure, reinvent myself to act positively on every situation that comes my way. One day, I received a phone call from a UN officer and asking me to join a UN NGO as its leader. I did not have a solid track record in the public sector, especially for a UN NGO, but I took on a role after a 3-hour phone call with the president of the organization. Then I quickly studied the situation and applied my past skills and experience to my new role. Now I'm glad to say I really enjoy this new door because I could balance my work and motherhood. I can give more of myself to my daughter, and meanwhile allows me to apply my skills for the meaningful causes. You might be interested to know what are the specific steps I took to keep differentiating myself. Here's my secret recipe. I have generated a formula here for you all. B squared equals C squared HC squared. First, curiosity. Just like that 6-year-old girl when she pushed open that door. Curiosity allows us to always find the door or build the door because every new door is an opportunity for differentiation. When that door appears, take the opportunity without hesitation, because if you don't take it, others will. And aim for the door that is high. Don't settle for something that is easy. Second, courage. Every time I step through the door of uncertainty, of course, I felt nervous, but I didn't let myself be intimidated. Recognize that you will be nervous and quickly take steps to understand the situation around you. Apply your strength, go network, and make things work. Third, be humble. Never stop listening and learning. There is always someone who knows something interesting or important that can boost your own growth forward. Fourth, be confident. You don't have to be the best. Remember this. You don't have to be the best, but you just need to be the most unique one. Don't doubt yourself. It has a negative impact on your conscious and unconscious mind. Excel in your strength. One suggestion from Gallup StrengthsFinder theory is try not to spend too much time to fix all your weaknesses, but focus on excelling in your strength. Don't worry about your race, gender, experience. If you are confident, you have already won half of the battle. Fifth, continue to lean into being different. No matter if a differentiation is big or small, it adds up. It will grow into a large differentiation someday. Every door brings you a new learning opportunity. Once you get started, if you keep working at it consistently, you will continually grow and change. And you will continually surprise yourself. Because this process of imagining, differentiating, and winning is a lifelong process, one which never stops. Let me leave you with one final thought. Change is guaranteed. Progress is not. It is differentiation that makes the difference. It's what makes the difference between mediocrity and greatness, success or failure. It's what will make you a winner in life. Take my secret recipe and go open your door. I don't know what my next door will be, but I'm ready for it.